I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, everybody? Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is your girl, DYANAROZAY. I'm here to talk to y'all about Porsha Williams and Simon. I actually got a lot of other things to talk to you guys about too. But, child, we are going to talk about Simon and Porsha because Simon is trying to get his lick back for that Waiting to Exhale magazine cover, the digital magazine cover that Porsha Williams did the other day, where she flicked her cigarette and walked away from a burning car, child. Simon had a whole lot to say, okay? What? Not a dime. You heard me. Not a dime. Come on in. Come on in. If y'all can hear the sound of my voice, please let me know. Drop your city, your state, your country, your wherever you are from, your island, into the chat real quick. That way I can make sure I am not talking to myself. Come on in. Come on in. What's up, Lady D Keys? Lady D Keys is the moderator for the show today. She is volunteering her time. I don't care that you guys have different opinions because, you know, for right now it's legal, but we will be talking about it because it looks like people are going to be on our heads soon. Okay. All this free speech that everybody loves to stump out is about to be stumped out for real, for real. So hit the like button, share the video, please and thank you. Okay, we are about to talk about some things and see what we can get done. Okay, what's up, DC? I appreciate you for showing up, for coming through. We're going to talk about Simon and some other things too, okay? So hopefully we'll have a little fun over here. Just a little bit, just a little bit. What else is going on? Let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. I'm going to give y'all one story real quick so that you can be paying attention to what's going on because I told you there's a lot of changes. If you guys were listening to a video I did a couple of days ago, I think it was the Tyler Perry one where I went through everything, his legal documents. I told you guys that your social media footprint is going to be your currency. Did anybody remember me telling y'all that? Our social media footprints is going to be our currency, meaning the things that you say and do online cannot be erased, and it is going to determine how you move, right? Just like money determines how you move. I said social media was going to be a currency that's going to determine the things you get to do, places you get to go. And sure enough, I just said it because it was just some things I was talking about. What's up, Bama girl? Nice to see you. Nice to have you. But y'all look at this. This is actually a requirement now, just in case you did not know. The U.S. Embassy now requires visa applicants to disclose their social media usernames from the last 5 years. It has to be a part of your visa application. Okay. So anybody who's traveling into the U.S., this is now what the embassy is requiring. And this is, again, for visas. Any new visa requirement applies to all social media platforms. So if you got 4 social media platforms, YouTube, IG, TikTok, Twitter, they want the last 5 social media names you had on that platform. Okay. Well, not 5. All of the social media names that you've had over the last 5 years. 5 years. And you better disclose it, because if you don't, that means you are automatically denied. And if the US is doing it, you can believe Mexico will be doing it, Canada, France, whomever, wherever you guys would like to go. It will probably also apply to visitors if you're just visiting. So imagine being a grandma at home, enjoying yourself, child, harassing and bullying some damn body, thinking that nobody's going to know who you are. And then the family, like, the family's like, why don't we all take this vacation? And your ass get denied. Child, a hot mess. Okay. So this is exactly what is going on. It says wants to, but I did look it up. It is currently a requirement. Okay. Child, laugh now, cry later. You know, I am telling the truth, child. The way people be bullying people on social media, people be thinking nobody is going to know. Nobody is going to know. And yeah, just so you know, it will be an automatic denial, because with all the AI and, robots that we have online right now, people know exactly who we are and what we're doing. We're not anonymous anymore, child. So that's why I was saying this free speech ain't free. It ain't free anymore. Okay. So that's the first thing I want to put out there. And let me get y'all the next story. Y'all talk to me in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about this shit. This is huge. This is huge. Make no mistake about it, okay? All right, let's move on to the next story. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about a little money. A little money real quick. Ulta Beauty Chief Financial Officer Paula Oibo, she has resigned effective immediately. Okay, Chief Financial Officer. She was in charge of a 20.63 billion with a B company, and she had been with them since 2019. Okay, so let me get her history up. She has been with them since 2019. First, actually coming from a company called PCW, and then she moved to Whirlpool, and then she moved, and this was all in 2019. Then she moved to Ulta Beauty in 2019 as a, hold on, let me make sure I give her history correctly, because we need to see if something else falls down the pipe. Because typically when you are the chief financial officer for a $20.63 billion company, you don't resign effective immediately. That is why this is news, okay? So she first started her career with a company called PwC in 2019. She was a senior auditor and consultant. Then she moved from there to another company in 2019, Whirlpool Corporation. She was the finance leader and controller. In 2019, she went to Ulta Beauty as the VP of Finance and Marketing. Then in 2022, still with Ulta Beauty, she was a senior vice president of finance. And then in 2024, she became the chief financial officer at Ulta Beauty. And she actually increased their sales under her leadership. Their sales did increase, doing 11.3 billion. So they said somewhere around 1.5 points. And then without any warning, she resigned immediately. Early last week, they have someone sitting in the interim, and we shall see what happens next, child. I'm hoping absolutely nothing, okay? I'm hoping that she has just, had another job that she could not say no to, but we are going to keep our eyes on this and follow the money, baby. What's up, Bama girl? Nice to have you. Hey, hey, hey. What's up? My degree is real in Canada. Nice to have you. But yeah, I love to see us do big things, baby, but we need to make sure that we also dot our I's and cross our T's. I want to see what happens to Miss Paula, but she is no longer with Ulta Beauty. They said they wish her the best, but nothing else has been said. No reason why. No reason why. Okay, now let's get to our next story. Let's talk real quick about y'all favorite show. Love and Mayor Huntsville. I talked about it a little bit earlier. Bliss said they will miss her leadership, in my opinion. Well, let's hope so. I mean, like I said, you don't just resign that quickly. Typically, they give you a little leeway. It takes about a month, 2 months to pass over your duties and show somebody the ropes. Walking out the door, she either got into it with somebody, but I can't even imagine, because that's unprofessional, or something that's legal happen, and I'm hoping that that's not the case. But yeah, let's talk real quick about LAMH Huntsville. I told y'all it was coming back in a video that I did earlier, but I did not show y'all this the new promo pic, for Pete's sake. Why are the couples separated? Yeah, okay, that's what I wanted to talk about. I said, wait a minute, why is Nell and Chris the only ones holding each other, got their hands on each other's waist? Okay, Nell gained a little bit of weight. She must be happy over there with Chris, but she gained a little weight, child. What else is going on? Hold on. Well, let's look at the placement here. Tisha and Marceau are on opposite sides. They're not even in the same damn zip code. They are on opposite sides. So if I was just guessing what is going on with the marketing here, I would say that Tisha and Marceau are going to start talking about their separation. Even though, if you guys have been paying attention to their social media, they are still very much together, child. Tisha's in that bar every night. She's always calling on Marceau for something. On Easter Sunday, they were all going to church together. Marceau, who is a proud atheist, he was in a car on his way to the church house, and they were singing Christmas songs. And he said he's done wrong by his family to have his kids in the back seat singing Christmas songs on Easter, child. Come on in, come on in. They the only ones still together. Let's get into it. I see y'all. Thank you. Come on through, child. I love it. Tell me what y'all think. We also have Trish and Ken. They are separated. Trish is in the middle of Maurice and Martell, and Ken is all the way, like a big old space. He's all the way over there in between Destiny and Tisha. Destiny has no mans on this picture, okay? And then I would say even Maurice and Kimmy are a little funny acting. Maurice and Kimmy are a little funny acting. Kimmy is seated in the center. So maybe she's showing herself as the mother of the show, maybe. Don't know. Dust Mite still can't pose. They look cute now. They do look cute. I think they look cute. They're giving, what are they giving? Is it supposed to be like professional sexy or something? Huh. Nell Fletcher has on a suit. Who else has on a suit? Trisha has on a suit. Kimmy is dressed completely down, no skin showing outside of her hands and her face. Tisha's given all the skin. This is a lot. Come on in, everybody. Welcome. Hit the like button for me, please. And thank you, child. I wanted to see what y'all had to say. They got into it after the reunion, right? Ken and Trisha. Well, they did. I think they're not really showing themselves with each other a whole lot on social media. I have seen them together on their social media, but not like they were before. They're definitely like they were before, but I think they're working things. They may be working on things. Okay. Kimmy, the new showrunner. What do you mean? Now, what I will say is this: everybody appears to have, like, the producer credits are still intact. Except for, let me say this: Carlos King is still showing up as a producer. Kingdom Reign is still showing up as the production company, along with ITV. I think it's called ITV. But what I want to see is if Melody and Martell, in particular Melody, because she's not on the show anymore, if she still holds a producer credit. That's what I want to see. But I am going to watch the show. I want to see what happens. I'm going to be honest with y'all, because I've watched this show so much. If y'all have followed me from the beginning, the one thing I have always said, this is not a take back. I didn't switch my shit up. All the lying ass things that other YouTubers were trying to spread was never true. I have always said from the very beginning that I thought Melody was really smart with how she was handling herself. And I also said that I thought she could take care of herself. And the reason why I said that, I've always said this too, is because Melody, out of everybody, out of all the fans, out of anybody on the show, Melody knew what she was dealing with when she pulled her divorce out of the courthouse, because they had filed for divorce. Remember? They filed for divorce before the show even came, even before they were even offered the show. They had already filed. Melody knew she was dealing with a hot fucking mess called Martell. She had 3 kids. All the things that you do when you file for divorce, period. You're already in the grieving process, grieving losing your family, grieving losing your businesses, your home life, whatever those things are. She was aware of it. She knew that that was what was happening to her life in that moment. And she pulled those documents out of the courthouse to do this show. Now, when she shows up on the show, we, the audience, we don't know that yet. We didn't find out until later, but we knew afterwards. But I always thought this was fascinating to me, because typically when you are in that space, you're in that space, right? But she pulled it out. She tried to see if she could save her marriage. They had another baby. But all the dirty things that we found out about Martell on the other side, and the other side being the show, is all the things she already knew. It's all the things she already knew. She knew that about her husband. She knew he had a mistress. She knew that mistress was with her husband for many years. Her mama knew, her family knew, her brother knew. Everybody knew, and we slowly found those things out. You know what I'm saying? Like, perspective is everything now, but hindsight is 2020. When it was happening, it was like, oh my God, oh my God. It was shock after shock after shock. But she always carried herself so well to me, not nobody else. It's just how I used to talk about it. I always thought it was like, if people were going through a divorce or dealing with a narcissist or any of those things, I always thought that we had not seen that part before, of how a woman was able to fight back. Does that make sense? Talk to me in the comments, because y'all are quiet trying to, I don't know if y'all remember that. People who know, like Lady D Keys, she remembers how I would talk about her, because people ended up turning on me because I would not talk about Melody the way other YouTubers would talk about Melody. Not that they can't. They can talk about them, about whoever they want to, however they want to on the show. But I got attacked for it. I got attacked for it because I would not. I just kept saying she was smart and she knew how to handle herself. And some kind of way, people didn't see it that way. People thought, this is horrible. And I kept saying, but y'all keep making it seem like she doesn't know. She knows. But I always thought that was fascinating. I also thought it was interesting how she was revealing the information. Maybe she was finding out things. I don't know. But when she first came on and her and Martell are sitting in their confessional, shoulder to shoulder, and they're laughing and giggling and high-fiving each other, talking about they're the first couple in Huntsville to do $1 million, business and all that stuff. Let's see. I am glad you're opening up about your side of view of the show. I respect it. I mean, this is how I always talked about it, Erica. Thank you. This is how I always talked about it. I just got attacked because I didn't follow what everybody else was doing. What I started saying became a problem for people. And then they started lying on me and saying I worked for Carlos King because I didn't turn Melody into a weakling. I was like, she's not weak. Why do y'all do this to her? But people lied. They lied their asses off to stand on my back. You feel me? I remember, Dyana, people not liking the way you talked about it. Yeah, they were pissed. But I kept saying, y'all are acting like she didn't know. She knew. That's what makes this great. Because not everybody fights a narcissist the way Melody fought a narcissist. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all were actually getting tea. Yes, you would say that all the time. I would say it every freaking time. So I'm about to tell y'all this so y'all can know where I stand right now. Okay. So when I was watching it, I was fascinated by that. And I kept saying, watch, this lady is not just, she's not just, she's in a process of grieving, divorcing, trying to build her life back, get, build a home back, get her jobs back. All of that shit is stuff that you don't normally see, you don't typically see. And I thought that the girl was smart. I did. I thought it was smart. When it became I don't even know what to call it other than maybe people were so tied up in trying to make their story her story, even though it was two different freaking stories. Um, I couldn't believe it. But anyway, let's get to it. I said after Melody and Martell came on the show, they were coming on the show like they were a couple trying to figure it out, but they had already threw in the towel. They threw in the towel, and the grieving process for them had started already. We didn't know it as an audience, though. We didn't know it as an audience. And when they were talking about their marriage, like the things we should remember, because this is when shit really started going haywire, right? Melody comes on and she's like, telling us the story is kind of going backwards a little bit, because when they came on, like I said, they were coming on as a couple trying to figure it out. But very quickly it unraveled, and it unraveled because Melody and Martell were toxic together. They were toxic. They had a very toxic marriage. We just didn't see that the way they knew it to be. Melody and Martell knew it. I would say even like the people around them, the Scotts, they probably saw it. The Fletchers saw it. We didn't see it. What we saw was this beautiful family. We saw these beautiful moments on TV, like the kids praying, and we just wanted them to be okay. And there was a lot of people, even after Melody and Martell divorced, who didn't click it, right? It didn't click in their mind. Indigo Girl said, I remember you saying that at Diana Mills, very wise woman, you said it. I always said it. And then it turned on me, but I just want y'all to know, because it probably will be that again. And that's okay. That's okay. That's okay, because this time I have some information when that shit starts popping off. But anyway, the things that I remember is that I'm going to share with y'all that helped me think about things a little different. Number one, like I said, the audience didn't want Melody and Martell to get divorced, but the reason why things broke down so fast is because they were in a toxic relationship. That marriage was toxic AF, and there was probably no way to really, really fix it. You know what I'm saying? So even though it started off one way, it flipped so fast, it was never gonna go back to what it was ever. But there was so many people on the outside watching, thinking y'all should be able to fix it, because you have so much, there's so much y'all, to lose. Why would you want to lose this? Protect your family, keep your family. Cool. Then we remember Melody saying, like, when people really started hating the Scotts, even me, I was like, you mother effer, right? There's a moment where Melody says to Marceau, I think it was Marceau, I didn't have cheating in my marriage until we started hanging out with y'all. Do you remember that? Put a one in the chat if you remember that. I didn't have cheating in my marriage until, and we already thought Marceau was cheating because he just looked like he wanted to keep Tisha in the house. He looked like he wanted to keep Tisha in the house, child. There were parts of Maurice. Maurice had this father type of energy with Melody, where he was always like wagging his finger at her. And we were just trying to figure it out. And literally, it wasn't until the end of Melody season did we figure it out. There's some of y'all who's saying one. Okay. So Melody said, I never had cheating in my marriage until I started hanging out with y'all. So we all were like, you bitch, because we really thought that they were a great couple and they should stay together and be together and, keep them kids good. Also, some people saw through the glass house throwing stones and it couldn't be hidden any longer. Explain to me what you mean by that, Chronic, and welcome to the chat, by the way. The baby was a deal breaker, in my opinion. No, I agree. And Melody said that too. But the thing is, she already knew about Ariane, even though all that shit was spilling out into social media. I don't think she expected that to happen. I'm sure she didn't even want it to happen. This was her story, and I do believe that she had every right to tell her story about her marriage her way, period. Ariane, I don't care if she said, y'all said my name on the show. She really should have stayed out of that marital business. She had already inserted herself in the worst fucking way. But Ariane should have stayed out of it and let them tell that story because no one was going after her. We really, no, and at least not when I was watching the show. I wasn't paying attention to that. But I didn't think that was a huge deal. But when Melody said, I didn't have cheating in my marriage until we started hanging out with the Scotts, they got the business. Like nobody could stand the Scotts. Everybody thought you mother effers, y'all ruined this woman's marriage. Y'all ruined a family. You're jealous because your family, you wanted to be like them or whatever the things are, right? Some people knew that their relationship was toxic. I agree. I think that there were people who knew that relationship was toxic, clearly people that were close to them. But as an audience, we couldn't see that. We couldn't see that up front. You know what I'm saying? We saw what most people would see. When Melody introduces herself at the beginning, she said, we're the example couple. She said, we're the couple that people want to be. We could just be out, as a family, going to eat ice cream or burgers, and someone will come up and just say, you have beautiful children, you're a beautiful couple. There was something about them that made people, look twice, like, goddamn, you know what I'm saying? Like people do that. Hello, Dyana, not you cursing, child. It happens every once in a while. I don't do it on purpose, but sometimes you need it for emphasis. But anyway, we got that, right? Now I'm going to fast forward just a little bit. The things that I liked is, even though we would see Martell do some crazy shit, Melody always seemed to be able to stand on her 2 feet. Martell threatening her, saying that he's going to take the kids from her, her agreeing, even in the worst part of it, agreeing to meet him for coffee. And, they're still trying to they're going through their divorce. They're in the heat of shit. And Melody would still, go in, have those meetings with him and be able to walk away on top. Okay. And be able to walk away on top. Then something else happens, right? Y'all remember Tisha says to Maurice, keep an eye on your brother because I don't trust him with Martell. Remember that? Put a 3 in the chat if you remember Tisha saying that when they were in Vegas, they had drove those hot shots up to the mountain. And I guess they were all going to go out. The guys were going to go out after. And Tisha said, keep an eye on your brother because I do not trust Martell. And I feel like everybody was like, bitch, are you crazy? People were screaming it. Like we were all talking about it and laughing and saying, what is wrong with Tisha? Okay. Moving forward, the picture comes out, the boys' trip picture. And that's the picture with Martell and the Scott brothers and some others. They were in Atlanta. Picture comes out. Martell says, oh, Ariane, I think you took that picture. And now everybody's like hot even still because they're like, you guys knew, right? And all the shit was still coming out on the internet. And y'all know that's coming from an inside source. Nobody's stupid. We don't know these people. So this stuff is coming from an insider, clearly. Okay. All of the stuff that was dropping is coming from an insider. so that these stories can keep flowing out. But then when Melody talks about it to Kimmy, she says to Kimmy, do you trust Martell with Maurice? And I was so confused by that because I was like, Martell with Maurice? Maurice and Marceau are the hoes, right? But Melody is opening up and sharing more stuff. She's like, listen, at the end of the day, Martell has been cheating throughout the marriage, the whole marriage. That Ariane wasn't the first, and she wasn't the only. She actually says that he had been cheating throughout the marriage. And then she shares that on her just a few hours before, maybe 2 days, I think they said 48 hours before the wedding, she had strongly suspected that he was cheating with their wedding planner, Melnika. Child, it was a move to take followers from me that we all share. It was just a move to take the followers, and a lot of people left, and you have to just be cool with it, child, because there's not a whole lot you can do. But it's the dirty tricks of YouTube. So at the end of the day, that's what it is. People play dirty tricks. You lie, you insinuate things, and then people start moving funny, and it is what it is. But Melody makes the comment that Martell had been cheating all along. Something that she had not said before, but she was sharing. And maybe she didn't know how to say it, or maybe as you start going through your process of grieving, you have to accept certain truths. And so she said it. That motherfucker was cheating the whole time. And I suspect that he was cheating with the wedding planner. And things were so bad with us in our first year of marriage that I contemplated leaving. I couldn't even stay. I had to go to a hotel, and I would stay at a hotel regularly because things were so toxic in our house. I had to go. Melody would pack her shit and leave the kids with Martell just to get her peace. Okay. It's just what it is. And people are saying they still don't like the Scotts. I'm sure you don't, because when someone keeps repeating the same shit to you over and over and over again on every single platform, and you are being told you can't listen to anybody else, and if anybody tells this story differently, these people are working for Carlos King, these people got to be this, these people got to be that, so that you don't have a mind of your own, then that's the type of shit that happens. But she did say these things, and she said it on the TV show. She absolutely said it. These are things that she said. And then if you want to fast forward even further, Martell, who had been saying, y'all cheating, y'all cheating, y'all cheating, he gets all the way to the end of that show and he admits that he was the ringleader, that he was the one who helped them cheat, just like Tisha said, not the other way around, just like she said. They had a lot of CCs working for Carlos. They had anybody who told a story that was different from the one they were telling, because y'all should know by now, the whole move, the whole play, what did they say? The overplay for the underplay. The whole move was to get the show taken off the air. The show was supposed to come off the air. People were supposed to lose their jobs, the jobs that they work outside of the show. It just became a real ugly thing. Everything just went horrible, and it didn't have to. But so many people got wrapped up in this bullshit, and it was just bad. It was just bad. It doesn't even make any sense to even, like, if I told y'all step by step by step who, what, how, when, where, you wouldn't even believe me, because half of the shit you guys participated in. Martell said that Marceau and Maurice went behind him. Yeah. He said, you were so fat and ugly that the only way you could sleep with a woman was if you went behind me. He says this, beating on his chest, proud as hell. And that dark and ugly, still can't shake it off. All of those things should be like kind of eye openers, like, oh, there was a lot to create this narrative that a lot of people did not deserve. A lot of people did not deserve. It didn't just happen on the show, it happened outside of the show too. There were a lot of really good content creators that got raked through the coals because people didn't want them. And this is the truth. It wasn't like Scott supporters against Melody supporters or Martell supporters. It was Melody supporters against Melody supporters. It's still that. Like there's a group that just don't want you to say certain things and they control how you speak. Well, is the Scotts divorcing? I don't think they're divorcing. They had come out, I think, earlier this year and said that they are in therapy, that they are in counseling. Carlos could have turned the show around. I wonder why he didn't hold the cast members accountable for their actions. Explain to me what you mean by that, friendship, because I'm not sure. I have been thinking about this for a little while, and I have to say, it just went ugly. It just went ugly. Melody was one of the stronger characters, and a lot of people loved her. But things went so crazy on social media, it's particular YouTube, and people who were supporters would get attacked because they needed you to tell the story a certain way. If you didn't tell it the way they wanted you to, they were coming for you. They were coming for you. They were reporting you. They were doing all kinds of horrible shit. And some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. There's no way to deny that. I heard Scotty by Nature, who's a good YouTuber. He said he's been on the platform for 15 years. He's won a couple of independent YouTube awards. And he was on Marcella's page and he said, I have never been in any shit on YouTube. I have never been in any mess on YouTube until I started reporting Love and Marriage Huntsville. And he said it was one of the worst experiences he had in his life. And I was like, on the platform, I won't say in his life, on the platform. He said, I've never experienced it. He said, we used to be able to just talk about the shows and have fun. And I felt the same way. I was like, ooh, I didn't know there was even a sector. Like, I was so dumb and green. I had no clue. Yeah, they loved Mel too much to where her mere presence was toxic for the show and the creators. Yeah, I'll say. Martell is a clout chaser and kept putting his foot in his mouth. I don't believe that he was the ringleader. He thinks that he's smarter than everyone. Well, that's a thing to say. You don't have to believe it, but when somebody tells you, not just once, but repeatedly, he called Marceau more than once. You were ugly, you were fat, you would have never gotten any pee if it wasn't for me. I mean, he kind of explained it in detail. And it has been supported. The show could have been great if their true stories were followed instead of creating certain storylines. Well, explain to me the true story if the stories that came out were the actual lies that people kept demanding the answer to, when it was actually said on the show that the things we thought to be true actually weren't true. It came out of the horse's mouth. People would threaten people's lives too. Yes, threaten people's lives, gang stalk them all day and night on every platform. And some people are still talking about it right now, how they are gang stalked, how their children are being dragged. There's just a lot of shit. All I'm saying is this: whether you like it or not, some people have been brainwashed into believing things that just wasn't accurate. And it's okay. It happens to the best of us, but you got to pull back and know what's real and what's not. And when the people that told you one thing tell you something else and say, listen, the shit didn't happen like that, you got to believe them. You can't keep holding on to things that don't belong to people. And people can't carry what doesn't belong to them. If it doesn't belong to you, keep it moving. I will never understand it in real life. I can't get along with anyone. It's sad to see how everything just self-destruct. That's what happens. Notice that nothing new has been leaked from the new season. And I haven't heard anything leaked. There's still a lawsuit. Yeah, there's a whole lot of shit going on. But I will say this: there's a period where you have to heal, right? Sometimes, and this is just true. If anybody has had any type of breakup or breakdown in their family, there's things that you share and there's some shit that you keep inside. And then later you might be able to speak about it because it's just too much for you to talk about. But during the time it was happening, during the time that it was happening on the show, there was a lot of lies told about people. There was a lot of things that was put out about people. And it's just unfortunate because it didn't have to be that way. There was a paranoia. There was a lot of shit going down. And it was just unfortunate. The truth seems forced from behind the scenes. They had to keep it real from the start. Well, it wasn't kept real from the start. It's just that people got really tied into the story and they took it personally. But there's no way to predict it. There's no way to predict that. People keep asking, saying, if you just keep it real, if you wouldn't lie, if you wouldn't this, but we ask a lot from people. Everybody lies. Everybody lies. And I will say this: what you think might be true, even in your life, when you go through heavy shit, when you have some time, let some time pass, you will see it in a completely different way. You will see your part in it. You'll know the part you played in it, how, the shit was negative to you. But everybody got hit. Everybody got hit. I mean, I remember when I was asking y'all, some of y'all, not everybody, but some of the people kept saying, Nell is a problem. Nell Fletcher wanted her to stay in a toxic marriage. And I kept saying, but wasn't she divorcing? Like, what are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? She was actually in the divorce court already. But because people kind of reenacted a few things, people just got dragged through the coals and it wasn't even true. And to be honest, in that last episode of the reunion, Nell Fletcher was really the only one who was standing behind Mel. When we see Nell Fletcher turn her back to Destiny, and she said, listen, there was a time I would have thought I wanted Destiny to be my daughter-in-law, but after this shit, no. Destiny is somebody I did not think or know her to be. So she was really the one in Melody's corner. But even when Melody says to, I don't know if this was in there was two versions that aired, so I'm not sure which version this part was on. But Melody actually says to Maurice, after saying, we don't really know each other, and me and Kimmy aren't real friends. Melody actually said to Maurice, you and I were real friends. I used to call you all the time, and you would counsel me about Martell. And Martell, look, Angela said, who cares? Well, I'm saying it, Angela, because I'm saying if you just pay attention to the show, you would see that everybody played a part in the breakdown. That's what I'm saying. I'm also saying that you and a lot of people were taking stories and adding on to a lie and adding on to a lie until, you were literally carrying a lot of bullshit that simply wasn't true. And because I was trying to keep it straight, because this is my platform and I was trying to keep it straight. I got attacked for it and I got called, basically lied on, and I got gang stalked and harassed by subscribers. And had a whole bunch of people tell y'all that I was switching it up and shit like that. So yeah, I care. So that's why I'm talking about it. I care. You don't have to, but I do. That's why. And it bothered the fuck out of me. And now I'm getting the opportunity to share it and say that now, since everybody is grown, and Melody is not on the show anymore, and maybe she has a credit still as a producer, I'm not sure. But since she's not on the show anymore, people got to let everybody live their life. I have always thought that Love and Marriage Huntsville Core 6 told each other too much of their married business. Yep. So that's it. That's why. Spread that tea. Spread it far and wide. The truth of the matter is, Melody knew what type of man Martell was. You didn't know what type of man Martell was. Melody already knew. She was already going through the grieving process. She had already said, fuck this house, these cars, these businesses, I'm out. She had already done that. And then she came back to the show. She decided to come back to the marriage to be a part of the show. And I actually thought that made her strong. Maybe I could be wrong. That was just my opinion, because I thought that takes a lot. That takes a lot. She really has to have a big dream for herself if she was willing to come back into this space with a person that she couldn't trust, knowing that so many people knew her secret. That's why I thought she told it in the first place, because she didn't want anybody else to tell it. Because at the end of the day, you live in a small town. People know. People at the courthouse know. The friends and the castmates know. Your mama know. Your family know. Your brother know. His friends know. Everybody knew. So I thought that was brave of her to go through that process on the show the way she did. And it just kind of went haywire, unfortunately. But everybody goes through a grieving process when you divorce, and there's some shit that you don't say, and there's some things that you'll say as you go along. But when it comes to what happened, I would say on the show, I would say that everybody, when you think about it, was lied on, and a lot of marriages, all of them were affected. All of them in a negative way, negatively impacted. And people were looking for a truth that started with a lie. It started with a lie, and then people were looking for the truth based on that lie. And it didn't get told completely until we got all the way to the end of that story. And that's why I'm bringing it up. And I'm going to keep bringing it up, because people need to be reminded at this point. Hindsight is 2020. We should all be carrying, a different tea at this moment, because it just got really fucked up. And there's a lot of people that will do anything to anybody. Well, Melody left the show, divorced Martell, told her truth. Now this is a new beginning for everybody. Oh, this is the whole point. This is the point I'm trying to make, is that everybody kind of got fucked up in the truth. Everybody got messed up. Everybody's life got messed up. Everybody's. I can't watch with Wanda. The show is degrading. I don't know. I think it's sad. I think it's sad that that so much stuff has happened. I think that when you think about how people were watching and how families were watching and thinking, this is happening to my daughter, my nephew, my niece, my whomever, That's hard, not because of Melody. Well, if Melody was the first to say she'd never experienced cheating in her marriage until she met the Scotts, and then she backtracked it and said, that's not actually true. Martell had been cheating from the fucking beginning. That was a story. That was a lie that kind of got put on their head, and it didn't have to. Now, that doesn't mean that people didn't believe that Marcel was cheating, because people still believed it, but it made it, the lie came because people hated their family because they thought their family was the one who, you know, made Martell a hoe. Like he was a good guy right before that. That wasn't true. Martell, according to Martell, was the one who messed up everybody else's marriage. That's what he said. That's what came out of his mouth. It could have been, you know, but that's what he decided to share. And this is how this story is going to start. So in the first season, or in this upcoming season, Martell and Marceau, according to what I've read, that is going to be their friction. That's what they're going to talk about. Everyone on the show is accountable for their own actions. Are they? Are they accountable for their own actions? Have you been in the sector from the beginning, or are you new? I'm not sure, because the shit I remember is that people were looking for blood. They wanted punishment, fire, calling people's jobs, calling people who have given opportunity to. They wanted people gone, child. They wanted people to suffer. And a lot of people still want to see people suffer. It was just unfair. It was just unfair for a lot of people. Not just even on the show. Hell, unfair for all of us. If you weren't telling that same story, that same way, if you weren't repeating it verbatim, you were getting your ass kicked. Some people weren't even in the sector and they were getting their ass kicked. And I know y'all know this. People were going into back rooms. People were dragging people left and right, doxing people left and right. I got a call. I was at the movies, okay? And somebody called me and said, hey, your name is on a list. Your husband's name is on a list. Every house that you have lived in since you left Ohio is on a list. Do you understand me? Is that not the craziest thing you ever heard? I could not believe it. And they read it off to me. They said, I am sorry, but you should know this. You should know this. I was being stalked. Okay. You don't know who is really doing this. Other YouTubers, girl. Other YouTubers were doing it. Women who should know better were doing it. That's the crazy part. Not even the men, the women. They would lie. They would sell their kid for a nickel. Horrible scammer bammers, okay? Melody was married before she had met. I think she was married for a few years before she had met them, though. even Destiny, I wish you could have had your stalker arrested. That wasn't cool. Well, I was on a list with other YouTubers. I was on the list. Sheba was on the list. I think Anthony was on the list. There was a whole bunch of people on the list. And I was the last to find out. This person told me just out of kindness, but everybody else had it. They knew the information. It was crazy. It was crazy. And all because we did the show. That was it. That was all. We just talked about the show. And again, if you weren't talking about it in a way that was like, kill the Scots and, do this with that. You were just dragged. You were just dragged. But anyway, I'm interested in seeing what they discuss. I'm interested in seeing if how deep they're going to get into that. Because really, even though you guys were watching the show, a lot of people's lives were fucked up from that. A lot of people's lives. A lot of people's lives. A lot was done to people's businesses. It was crazy. But anyway, y'all should know. Y'all should know. And we'll see what happens next. Moving on. Let's see what else is up here. Let's have something fun real quick, child. We're gonna talk about Porsha in a second. Look, she said that's awful. Yeah, it sounds so crazy. It actually sounds unbelievable, but yeah, it is 1000% true, 1,000,000% true. And I believe that some of y'all know because you were in some of those back rooms that was kind of not even kind of, it was encouraging people to do things to people. People were sending out dog whistles to take people's channels down, to unfollow people. It's still happening. It's all dumb, but it happens every single day on this freaking channel, on these platforms. I sometimes wonder if OWN Network regret having ever put the show on their network. It seems like it brought them more problems than goodness. I don't think they deal with that part of it. I think that the people on that network is well insulated. I think the people on the cast are not, and I think the people that talk about the show is not. There was actually, I saw one time there was a reporter whose name I'm not going to call out because I don't want any problems for her. But there was a reporter who is independent. She does do stuff on YouTube. She was talking about something that didn't even have to do with Melody. And I remember someone writing a comment like, why do you say this about X, Y, and Z and you didn't mention Melody? And she responded to them. And I forgot how she responded. But when I tell y'all that her comments got swarmed like a million bees. Like people were pissed, and they went after her something awful. And as of right now, child, I don't think she's ever recovered from that shit. She is hurting. Okay. Let's see. I really think it's kind of you to cover this. Hopefully this content will help the show. I was done when Melody was still on the show. I'm sorry this happened to you. We have to move forward. What do you mean we have to move forward? You can only move forward. If you want to move forward, y'all can only move forward when you guys are in these chats, in these people's back rooms, and they are giving these directives and things like that. You got to tell these people to get a grip and stop harassing people so that y'all can travel outside the country with your grandkids. Okay? Because I'm telling you right now, this is going to backfire in the worst way. It already has. There's a lot of people who thought they were doing the Lord's work and the shit just went haywire. All right, let's look at these dresses, child, for season 16, the reunion looks, starting with Shamia. Look at this dress. So I guess they're wearing like gold and greens and yellows. And this was Shamia's dress. This is like a flower. I don't know what to rate this. Let's do on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. Put it in the chat. Do y'all like Shamia's dress? I'm going to give her a 4. She got some nice little cutouts showing some skin, a little waist, a little thigh. I like her makeup. I think her hair is pretty. Her jewelry is simple. I like it. I think it's different. It's very unique. She won best dress. This is coming off of Mr. Housewives page. She won the best dress of all the girls. And y'all know that Shamia has been getting dragged for the season because people didn't like Shamia's clothing. They said that she is the worst dresser, but she is getting best dress on Mr. Housewives. And I'm giving her a 4 for this dress. I actually like it. I think she was the best dressed of all the girls. And a lot of y'all are giving her a little in between, a 3. It's balancing out to a 3. Beautiful skin tone. Yes, she has gorgeous skin, gorgeous complexion. Okay, let's get to the next one. Porsha Williams, child. She is wearing a gold bodice at the top. It's almost like that the bodice that Melody had when she was wearing the silver. And then she's wearing a gold skirt with a high split, child, all the way up the thigh. Long flowing hair. She got a deep V, goes all the way down to the navel, showing a little breastises. Wow, Dyana, I never knew that. Yeah, child. That's just some of the things. But just to show y'all how deep and crazy things got crazy. And I'm not even a crazy ass blogger. I don't even blog like that. So if that shit happened to me, and it was simply because I refused to take some of the bait that I was being given, just goes to show you. Just goes to show you how deep things get. There's a lot of people that get dragged every single day that should not be. And that's a promise. That's the truth. Okay. Let's see. Frick gets a 1 on a scale of 1 to 5. Frick gets a 1. Bliss says she gets a 2. She's actually coming in second place. I don't hate it. I think it's pretty. I'm going to give her a 4 too. I think her and Shamia are a tie. A tie. A tie is what I'm going to give to Miss Porsha Williams. I like it. A lot of people are saying, oh, okay, Daphne said a 4. Belisha said a 5. A lot of people like Porsha's look. Cool. Okay, so you guys are actually ranking Porsha. Some of y'all are ranking Porsha ahead of Shamia. Y'all are saying that she should be a 5, and Shamia should be, or Porsha should be in first place, and Shamia should be in second place. Okay, so most of you like Porsha's dress best. Love it. Okay, let's get to the next. Cynthia Bailey got third place on Mr. Housewives. He's ranking her third. What do y'all rank on a scale of 1 to 5? What are you giving Cynthia's Sweet 16 reunion look? This is kind of a neon greenish yellow, more of a neon green, not too neon, but y'all know what I'm saying. It looks like the colors are gold or a green. I don't like this look. She got third. Cynthia is a 6. Okay, she's getting high. She's getting a high ranking. A 6, a 5. Chronic said Cynthia looks okay. Monica said it's simple and elegant. A 3. Very simple but nice. A 3. I give it a 3 too. However, I've seen Cynthia dress better, so I know that she can do better than this. But she is, maybe she wanted to be very comfortable. Actually, I heard her say this on her podcast. She said that she was not going to overdo it. She said because these reunions are long, child, she didn't want something cinching her waist for hours. She needs to breathe. Okay. So she said that she was doing something nice and simple and something she already had in her closet. And for that, I'm going to give her a 4 as well. Because she said she was not going to be uncomfortable for the reunion, child. She didn't even have that much going on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to give her a 4 just because she said that. But yeah, a lot of people are saying that you thought she had a nice and simple look. Okay, let's get to the next one. 4th place is being given to the Oak, Miss Angie Oakley. 44 to be exact. Let's see. Porsha, Shamia, Cynthia is what Bama Girl is ranking. What are you ranking Angela Oakley? Angela Oakley on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. Okay, Daphne said Angela gets a 5. I think Angela's showing out. I like her dress, actually. I think it's cute. She's also wearing something that's more of a greenish tone, at least that's how it's coming off on this, in this picture. But it has some sequins in it. She's showing a little bit of her belly, got a deep V. High thigh, strappy sandals. She's wearing some bigger earrings, a diamond bracelet. I like it. Ooh, she's getting mixed reviews. Well, hold on. She's actually getting highs. 5, 4, 4. She got 1, 2. She got a 3.5. Okay, people like her dress. Cool, cool. Angela's coming through, and Angela doesn't always get high ratings for her look either. People think that she looks a little older, that she's, that she needs to do better with her hair. I like it. Her hair seems to be great. Got a nice wave to it. Love it. She looks good. Whew. And then we have Strawberry Shortcake, aka Kelly. She's getting 5th. Kelly has I don't know. Kelly has a lot going on. She got this rose thing on her breast, and then I don't know, it's given like salsa dancing meets the Oscars. I don't know. I don't know if I like this look at all. There's too much going on for me. I don't know if I like the rose on one breast and then, nothing on the other. I guess it's supposed to be like a poison ivy leaf. It's giving poison. It's giving costume, like she should be in the movie. And you guys don't like it either. Someone said 0. 0, too much going on. 1, circus. No ma'am. 1.7, 0, 1. It's too much for her small frame, and epic fail. Okay, so nobody liked this look. 5th place for Kelly. We got to see what Drew Sidora is giving, because she's coming in last, it looks like. But yeah, it's a nope. A strong nope for a lot of people, child. All right, back to the drawing board. Hold on. We got another one. Hold on. Drew Sidora. What do y'all think of Drew's look? She's doing feathers and diamonds, child. She got some rhinestones. She has a little swirl on her forehead. It's supposed to be kind of like a widow's peak, but it swirls there. What do y'all think of Drew Sidora's dress? Carnivalish. That's the best description. My degree is real. I agree. Very carnival-ish. What? Belicious gives it a 5. She said it's slamming. A 2. Okay. Nope. Nope. Sharon gives it a 4. Okay. Check it out. I like elements of the dress, but I don't know if the hair and the dress, I don't know. Maybe if she was wearing an updo and we saw more of her face, I would like it better. But I don't like the way the hair is cascading over the feather on her shoulder. I just feel like there's a lot going on. Okay, so Drew is getting mixed reviews. And a lot of y'all are coming in at a 2. All right, let's get to the next dress, baby. Is that it? Oh, hell. Phaedra Parks, baby. Phaedra Parks got worst dress. She's the last. She got worst dress. Phaedra. Oh my goodness. I was not expecting this. Listen, Phaedra actually has a boutique that sells really high-end clothing, gowns and stuff like that. I strongly expected Phaedra to come through, but Phaedra, I think, may have carried the worst dress for sure. I see -5. I see -0. Absolutely not. Faye, people are just putting negatives in the chat for Phaedra. Phaedra absolutely missed with this dress. She's wearing some sort of, it's a sheer bodice. It has, I'm sure it probably looked very different in person. It's not showing up well in this picture, but the way she has that bottom part of her gown draped around her waist, it looks like the way you would put a bath towel around your waist. I don't like that at all. I don't like her headgear. Child, are you the Statue of Liberty? It's too much. Are those earrings? No, I think that's also a part of her crown, that little piece on her head. It's a mess. She missed. This absolutely is the worst dress. And it's unfortunate, child. It's unfortunate. No to Brit, Faye Pharmacy and Drew. -1. Halloween is not here yet. 0, 0, 0, 0 for Phaedra. She thought she ate with this look. Poor thing. Only thing that looks good on her is her shoes. Okay. Phaedra missed, child. Not a good look for Phaedra. Damn. Cynthia came in with the vomit emojis, with the 3 vomit emojis. I think this sums it up. Nobody likes Phaedra's look. Absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. Okay, well, we shall see what happens next, child. Hold on. Trick or treat. Yep. So those are the looks. I just wanted to see what y'all had to say, what y'all thought. Cynthia is a 2. Okay. Phaedra was trying to do Queen of the Damned, and she missed. All right, y'all. That was the looks for season 16. That'll be coming up soon. I think we got one more episode. The season finale plays on Sunday. And we are going to see Charles run that poor boy out of whatever event they are in. He's about to get ran out of it, okay? But we are about to talk about Porsha Williams and Simon. Porsha Williams and Simon. Porsha, y'all know Porsha did that magazine cover, the digital magazine cover for People magazine the other day, and she did a 17-minute interview where she talked about her side. She didn't really talk horrible about Simon. She was actually saying things like she thought she could work it out, and she just filed for divorce to see if she could, get him to tell her things that she knew was really going on, but he wasn't being forthcoming about. She said that divorce was hard, and what else did she say that was notable? She actually said she loved him. She said, I loved him, but love doesn't heal everything, child. She said, love is, at the end of the day, you got to love yourself more than anybody else. And she said some shit like she's going to stay single for a little while. She's going to stay single for a little while. She's not going to chase nobody anymore. And she felt really happy. She said she was actually divorced on June 11th. That's when her divorce was finalized. And she's ready to move on with her life. Y'all may know that the prenup was upheld. Simon is supposed to pay her $40,000 a month, $40K a month. She also won the ability to stay in the home for 36 months. All bills paid, all expenses. So that means water, gas, electricity, and the upkeep to maintain the property, the pool, the grass get cut, the flowers get groomed, okay, along with the mortgage. So anything in that house that's supposed to be taken care of or repaired, Simon is supposed to do. Now, I had already told y'all that Simon, we know Simon is not in the country. He's in Nigeria, but there's no way to force him to do that. Divorce attorneys have already come out and said, yeah, this is going to be hard for her to get him to do any of this shit. But she has those rights in the house, and she also has 50% equity if they were to sell the house or if she sold the house. So she could choose to sell the house without his permission, it sounds like. Simon is not going to pay that, and he can't stay there. So you're right. Here's the other thing. After the 3 years, if the 3 years is up and Porsha said, you know what, she stayed in the house all 3 of those years, she decides she's, at the end of that court date or 36 months, that she's just going to leave the house. What does he do? Does he come back? Does he come back and live in it? She has to stay in it and sell it. That's the only way she gets 50% of the equity. So she knows that she has to sell it. I still feel sorry for her because I feel sorry for her. She don't find love. Porsha lost him how she got him. Simon is not going to pay, and he can't stay there. Well, he's talking, okay? He went over to Page 6, and some of y'all may know Page 6 is the original gossip column, okay? It was a very big deal back in the day, prior to like the National Enquirer and all that stuff. Page 6 used to get all the tea and spill it on people, but it was considered an upscale spill. Now Simon is talking to Page 6, y'all. He done went over there and told all his business because he said, to hell with Porsha. She ain't gonna tell my story, child. And yeah, let's look at him for a second. Hold on. Let me take this down. So here it is. I'm not going to play it because Page 6 does have a YouTube page, and I'm not sure if they're into dinging people. I don't want to get dinged. Okay, so let me actually pause this. But I'll tell y'all what it said so that y'all can know that as of right now, Simon is basically saying he's going to fight Porsha to the bitter end. She's not going to get a dime, okay? He said he will take this as far as it needs to go. And if he's saying that he's going to fight it and take it as far as he needs to go, he's also saying that he's not going to pay it. So let me share with y'all the summary of what he said in this video. He basically said that he was tricked, that Porsha saw him as a lick from the day she met him. He said Porsha slid into his DMs and said, "Hey, big head." Okay. He said that she slid into his DMs when he was reeling over the loss of his of Fallon, because Fallon, and he said he just found out that his previous wife was in a relationship. This is what Simon said, just so y'all know. So he is also saying that, let me say this, he is also saying that him and Porsha were not in a relationship prior. Okay. He's saying that I was reeling from my relationship with my wife, Fallon. He didn't, beat her over the head or nothing, but he said she was out doing some things and I filed for divorce. That's when Porsha slid into my DMs and said, "I'm praying for you," which is the equivalent of "Hey, big head." Okay. So he said that she said, "I'm praying for you." And, that put a little burn in his belly. He got some butterflies and he started saying, Porsha slid into that pool. He started feeling something. He said, "I felt a way" after he saw Porsha say, "I'm praying for you." Okay. That's when he decided to take the initiative to follow up. Now, all she said was, "I'm praying for you." And then the rest of that story happened the way, it's spelled out. He was feeling something. He wanted, they say the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody else. So he saw Dennis at the airport. He decides, to ask Dennis for Porsha's number. "You two ain't together no more, right? I need to talk to her about some business." Dennis slides the number to him because he said the two of them knew each other from the club scenes and things like that. And then he called Porsha directly. But he said at the end of the day, that was a financial hit. When Porsha slid into his DMs talking about "she's praying for me," Simon said she saw that as a lick, okay, as a lick. And she didn't care about him at all, period. Okay. He said that he absolutely regrets marrying Porsha Williams and believed that the RHOA star targeted him for financial reasons. He also felt like it was a coup. Okay. He was completely blindsided. He said that she took advantage of him when he was at his lowest, when he was at his weakest. Who's buying this shit? I'm going to need to know. Oh my goodness. I didn't think that he would pay her from abroad. Oh my goodness. Child. Well, listen, we all said that this would probably be the case, but I do find it interesting that Porsha used God to entice that man. What do you call God? The rump shaker? Simon was already enticed when he saw Porsha in that pool, but when she reached out to him, he said that he thought that he actually admits that he was the one who was feeling down, child. He was the one who was feeling down, and so he decided he'd scoop her up. He also said that he could show page 6. What did he say? I could show page 6 my text messages right now. Porsha didn't do anything to save this marriage. He said that he sent her a text saying, hey, why would you file for divorce? And she didn't answer him. Now, if y'all watched the show, you would have heard Porsha say, I've been reaching out to him. He will not answer me. He keeps ignoring me. He won't even answer me when I say little Pilar is asking for Pawpaw. He won't answer me. But Simon said that's not true. She wasn't answering my text. I was trying to reach out to her. And he said that she never did anything to try to save us or me. Because the story Porsha told was, I didn't want him to get on a plane and leave because I was afraid he was going to be deported. He said after that, after he tried to reach out to her to reconcile and she didn't respond, he was done after that. Okay. And then he said, even though the judge has upheld the prenup where he has to pay $40,000 a month in alimony and she gets to stay in their home for 3 long years, he said he'll take this shit all the way to the Supreme Court if he has to, because Porsha is not going to get one dime of his money. Okay. He said that she tricked him even in the prenup. He said he just wasn't in his right mind. He said he's been divorced plenty of times. He got plenty of ex-wives and he ain't never felt taken for a ride the way Porsha took him for a ride. Okay. So there you have it. She's using those praying hands. Clearly. I said, this is some funny shit. It was actually funny to listen to because he was really making himself a victim. But yeah, he said she slid into his DMs. He didn't talk to her first. She gave him the impression that he could roll up on it. And that was it. I hope he does, but he's stupid as hell for falling for the okie doke. Did he fall for the okie doke though? Did he fall for the okie doke? She said, I'm praying for you. That's it. She didn't say nothing else. He was the one who did the rest. Because he's the one who is used to take other people for a ride. Yeah, somebody said Simon has a reputation for being a scamming Nigerian. He said that Porsha scammed the scammer. So that was a quote from something I read today on Facebook. Whoever that belongs to, I don't know your name, but I do know you said it. Shit, I'm just reciting it. She wanted his money from the start. I'll say this, and it's unfortunate for Simon, but anybody who gets with Simon is with him for his lifestyle and his money. And that's for most rich people. Every island I have ever gone to in my life, there's always one person who looks like an ogre, okay, like Shrek, on the beach. And they have a beautiful woman, and she's not there for, his looks. She's there for the money. We have to stop acting like these people don't know what they're doing when they're offering money. He offered his last wife money. I think she had an allowance just like Porsha had an allowance. They both had allowances. Okay. Simon is, Brooklyn said they both play the victim. Simon is a little more of a victim. Simon this is his what, fifth wife, sixth wife? So there you have it. But yeah, the whole rich men being with a young woman, that's expected. Going ahead and put that money out there. What do you think you're supposed to do? What do you think? How old is Jeff Bezos, the billionaire, the third richest man in the world? How old is Jeff Bezos? 66, I think. Marrying that young thing yesterday. Know what's up, child. He played with a lot of women. Women did him in. Yeah. At the end of the day, he knows. I think he is on here getting Porsha back for her expose yesterday on with People Magazine. He's doing his expose with Page Six, but he made it a point of saying he will take this shit to the Supreme Court if he has to. I don't know if he's going to get there, but he said that he'll do that before he pays it. He'll do that before he pays it. So there you have it. He has to go to court with clean hands. So, but guess what? If his hands aren't clean, he doesn't have to worry about coming here for a court case. He doesn't have to worry about getting picked up because nothing's going to happen to him. And a lot of people have pointed out that all of his businesses in the U.S., that he doesn't have any more businesses here. So there's nothing that they could go after to make him pay, allegedly. So that's it. Simon has gotten the upper hand, child, and he said that he would have it. He actually laughed at her and said, "We'll see who has the laugh," and that's why he's smiling in this picture, because he feels he has the last laugh. Didn't Simon actually go after Porsha? Dennis said something about him asking for Porsha's contact. Yes, Brenda, I just told you the story. He said that Porsha slid into his DMs first and said, "I'm praying for you," which is AKA, that's the equivalent of, "Hey, big head." And then he did the rest of the work. He met up, he called her. He said, "Thank you for reaching out. That was so nice. Can we go out for drinks?" They go out. He starts courting her. She falls, for whatever it is that she fell for it. A lot of people said that they don't believe that she was in love with him. Porsha says she was in love with him, that she thought she met her person. That was her exact words. "I thought I met my person. I truly believed that this was it, that this was my happily ever after. Everything felt like a fairy tale in a dream. They were traveling all the time. They had a lot of fun together." And Simon is sharing what a lot of the internet is sharing right now. So he's making sure that the hate train stays heavy for Porsha. But I will say that Simon knows what he has. Paying $40,000 or even $30,000 to a beautiful woman as an allowance says that you kind of know who you are as a man, right? It says that you know what's up. Simon chose to sign that prenup. She didn't make the prenup up. He had a lawyer. He has a lot of people on his side. Simon chose to sign the prenup. Therefore, I don't understand why he's upset that the court upheld it. They spent most of their marriage working and both signing it. Simon likes to be a trick. Whoop. That could be it. All right, y'all. That's the tea. That's the story. I just wanted to get that out there. A lot of people, we've all been talking about this, and Simon came out today and said, "You're damn right." You're right. I'm not giving her nothing. Okay. So we shall see what happens next. But he said this is what the court's ordered, and he's going to fight it tooth and nail. He'll take it to the Supreme Court if he has to. She don't deserve his money. She's a trick. He was tricked. She never loved him. He said all the things that people have been saying out here, basically to keep the hate train rolling, keep them tires on the track. Okay. Simon signed the prenup. He's appealing. The judge made sure he sent her the $40,000 a month. How did the judge make sure? TR, tell me. Supreme Court, he's insane. The Supreme Court has better things to do, child. I don't know if that's going to actually be seen or heard, but we shall see. Okay. People are trying to fight for their life to get back into the country. This is not going to be a top priority for them, but we shall see. Okay. But anyways, you guys, I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me Thank you so much. Hit the like button. Make sure you have hit the like button. Become a subscriber if you are not already. Please make sure you are paying attention to your footprint on social media, all your platforms, because right now it is being required on visas, and it probably will not be long because the United States is doing this already. They are, even if you are a citizen of the United States, they do take your phone and computers to scan when you are going in and out of the country. So they're checking to see what you're saying. And we are living into some crazy times, okay? So make sure you're paying attention to that. What else? What else? What else? Follow me on all my platforms at DYANAROZAY. Thank you to all of my moderators for coming over and checking us out. And y'all, I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.